Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
Here we are, two of us today.
Yeah, indeed.
What do you think about spiders?
Yeah, not keen at all.
No?
Not at all.
I used to have I used to have a bit of a phobia with spiders, but then once we got a dog,
Yeah.
went away. Kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Did the spiders go away?
No, I don't mind. If a
Wondering whether your dog was eating them because mine does.
No, I don't mind. No, I mean, the phobia went away.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's like, no, I'd pick a spider up and put it outside.
Yeah.
You know, if it's if I find a spider in the house.
Yeah.
But normally I leave spiders anyway because you catch flies and stuff like that.
Well, they do.
So-
I mean, that's normally my argument at home, but you know, not everyone likes them though.
No.
I'm overly keen. I must admit. They scurry around too quick for me.
Well, here's a question for you.
like-
One of the countries I lived in, you got a lot of lizards, or like a gecko or a lizard. I'm not sure what they were. They were like a little lizard-type
That
creature.
type of thing, yeah.
And you'd get them inside your house. They'd be
Oh,
legging
really?
it across the wall instead of a spider. Now, what would you prefer? One of them legging it across, or a spider legging it
Oh,
across?
spider, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that freaked me out even more. That.
None of them bothered me. Like I say, once we got a dog, it just everything went away. All phobias went away.
I mean, I know they're harmless and they do catch like flies and this, that, and the others and keep other pests down, don't they? You know, the little insects.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just the way they scurry about. If they just went along really, really slowly, I don't mind so much. But
They've just they're not like it's when you look at close up to a spider.
oh yeah, they're not.
But you know, I've just bought my grandson for Christmas is a microscope.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, so it's designed for bugs.
Oh, is it?
So he's going to
Right.
put bugs underneath. He loves all the outdoors and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to put the bugs underneath it. That's what I'm hoping he's going to do.
Yeah.
Don't know what he's got yet. He's going to put it underneath, and then it's like a little. It's not like a regular microscope.
Yeah.
It's like a new digital one. Looks like a
right.
looks like a big box sort of thing, just like a pair of binoculars almost.
Yeah.
And you just put it over the top, and it gives you a digital reading of what it is, and you can zoom in.
Right.
So then you take photographs of it and all that kind of
Wow.
stuff. So it's pretty.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I think hopefully he enjoys it and he can see a lot of bugs close
Yeah,
up.
he'll have really enjoy it, or he'll put him off bugs for life, and he'll think, "Oh my god, how come I like something like that?"
Love that phobia.
Yeah, look at them close up; they're a bit scary, aren't they?
Yeah. But he's normally carries like he'll come up, bring a spider up, and he'll be like, "Oh, I've got a spider." You know?
Actually, when I was a kid, I wasn't bothered. You know, be picking worms up and all, the all sorts. Didn't bother me. Nothing bothered me then. But it's a phobia that sort of has grown really. But
Well, these are growing. This is the 10 biggest spiders ever encountered.
From the biggest spiders to have ever existed to an unfortunate employee bitten twice in his private parts by a giant spider in Australia.
Hey.
Here are 10 of the biggest spiders ever. Number 10. The giant toilet huntsman. First on our list of the biggest spiders ever is an enormous huntsman spider that was living in a family's bathroom only to emerge each time someone used the toilet. This is a pretty frightening guest to have living behind your toilet bowl. The Australian family even caught video of this monstrous beast crawling out from the back of their toilet like something out of a nightmare. Giant huntsman spiders are super common in Australia, and this story is a lot less unique in the land down under than you might think. Apparently, many Australians just kind of have to accept that big huntsman spiders are going to live with them. They are not going to pay any rent, and they're going to terrorise guests while using the toilet. What's really strange about this story is that the family reported that the huntsman spider would only come out when they flushed their toilet. Whether it was the noise that frightened the spider, or the arachnid just thought it would be funny to terrorise the family, your guess is as good as mine. Can you imagine finding an enormous spider like this in your bathroom? It's where you're most vulnerable. Jeez.
Isn't it?
What would you do in this situation?
put you off for life, wouldn't
Let
it?
me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you're new here.
What would you do?
I'd literally shit myself, probably, but in the right place.
I'm just curious about what you do there. Do you put, every time you go for a shit,
It just wouldn't.
you got a bug up your ass.
It just put you off completely. You wouldn't be comfortable, would you? That's for sure. No.
You'd have a break. You'd have a quick crap.
Yeah.
We have lots more videos like these. Number 9. Goliath bird-eating spider. We have a lot of stories to talk about today, but first I want to mention the biggest of all the spiders. The largest known spider in the world is the male Goliath bird-eating spider. The species is found in the rainforests of South America, mostly in French Guiana, Guyana, and Suriname, but they have also been found in Venezuela and Brazil. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the largest collected specimen came from Venezuela in 1965, and it had a ridiculous leg span of 11 inches. That means this spider could cover your entire dinner plate. That's how massive it is. They only weigh about 50 grams, but what's really cool about the bird-eating spider is that it can live for at least 10 years. This spider is indeed a tarantula. It uses the hairs all over its body to sense vibrations both on the ground and in the air. And even though they are known as bird eaters, they don't actually eat birds very frequently. I mean, they are hard to catch. But the first time someone found one,
Size of it.
the giant
I know, yeah.
puppy-sized tarantula was chowing down on a hummingbird. The creepiest thing this spider does is rub its bristly legs together, making a hissing noise that is so loud it can be heard up to 15 feet away. That will give you some serious chills. Number 8.
Yeah.
Imagine that, right? It wouldn't live 10 years if it's walked in front of me. I'd stand on it.
God, it looked 11 inches
I'd have
long.
to stand on that. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd have to proper
That's
have it. You
that.
wouldn't, yeah. You probably wouldn't be able to have a go with that.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick it up and think I'll put that outside.
Absolutely no
Definitely
chance.
roll the magazine up and give it a belt.
Exactly. The clue is in bird eating. I mean,
Goliath.
absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. Anything called Goliath ain't going to be small.
No, exactly, yeah. It's going to be a big one.
Giant imported spiders. This is probably a story that not many people are interested in hearing, but one of the biggest spiders ever, and definitely one of the scariest, is making its way to a city near you. It's called the Joro spider, and it's traditionally found mostly in Japan, Korea, and China. These spiders measure about 5 inches long and are so big and mean that they can catch hummingbirds in their webs. And while these spiders are supposed to be half a world away in Asia, according to some news reports in 2020, the spiders are now in the United States. Specifically, they have made an appearance in the state of Georgia. The good news is that the Joro spider is not deadly, but a bite from one can definitely hurt. Honestly, the worst part is that they are frightening to look at. These spiders are huge.
Tell
They
me
are
one that
yellow
isn't.
and black,
I know, yeah.
and they make enormous webs big enough to catch small birds and to seriously frighten you the next time you take a stroll in the park. According to an agent from the University of Georgia, these spiders most likely hitched a ride to the USA in crates that came through the Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Talk about illegal immigrants. Number 7. Human-sized web. Probably the last thing you want to see in the middle of your hiking trail is the spider web large enough to catch a fully grown person. However, it's more likely to happen than you may know, especially if you live in Missouri, where this enormous
Around
spider
Halloween.
web was found just recently in
Yeah.
2020. The photo was taken by the Missouri Department of Conservation, and it's definitely shocking enough to spark a quick wave of arachnophobia. This huge and overly intricate web belongs to an orb weaver spider, but the good news is that no orb weaver spider alive has the ability to eat you. In fact, the spider web is more amazing than it is scary, even if you are terrified of spiders. Orb weavers are famous for building spiral, wheel-shaped webs between trees, in fields, and even in gardens. And just like their webs, orb weaver spiders are unusually large, super hairy, and even a little furry. Even though you could probably wiggle your way out of a web like this, you still probably wouldn't want to walk straight into it. It's basically a heart attack waiting to happen. Next time you're taking a scenic stroll in Missouri, keep your eyes peeled for giant webs. Number 6.
I don't know, when we got to the car park here, I don't know if you get it, every night when I go walk
Yeah.
in front of a web.
Oh,
Must
do
be
you?
spiders like just go across the bush sort of thing. That
I'm
you cross.
guessing they do, yeah.
So pretty much every night. But I love it this time of the year when it gets cold and you get like the webs and you get up in the morning and you see all the webs that have been spun.
Yeah.
In different parts.
It's amazing how they
especially
stand
coming
out, isn't it, with all the frost and
looks
yeah.
pretty, they look pretty cool, don't
Yeah,
they?
that is a good thing about the spiders' webs. Are absolutely incredible. The way they make them, absolutely amazing.
Raining spiders. This story is actually so horrifying that it needed to be added to this list. These may not be the biggest spiders in the world, but they are definitely the most terrifying. The story comes to us from Brazil, where a horrific
long the
incident
legs are.
in 2019
I know, yeah.
had spiders
need.
raining from the sky. This is a real phenomenon that you would never want to be caught in the middle of. The incident was filmed in the south of Brazil, and in the video you can very clearly see hordes of huge black dots raining down from above. These are a special species of orb weaver spiders that are social and work together to build some of the biggest and most intricate webs you have ever seen, and they build them very high up in the forest canopy. But wait, if you look very closely, you will see the spiders are not actually raining from the sky. They are suspended inside of probably the biggest spider web in the world. The web is so huge and so fine that it's basically invisible to the naked eye. These spiders work together to build what is essentially a huge net stretching across the treetops. Near the end of the video, you can see them moving across the web. It truly is the stuff of nightmares. Number 5. Brazilian salmon pink bird eater. The second largest spider in the world is the Brazilian salmon pink bird-eating tarantula. It's nearly as big as the Goliath, but it has a leg span of only 10 inches rather than 12
Only.
inches. You might even say these spiders are a little more interesting. At least, they look a lot cooler with their pink stripes and salmon-coloured hairs sticking out of their legs. They are found mostly in Brazil, and these kinds of spiders generally hang out on the forest floor inside of a burrow, or scurrying underneath dead logs and leaves looking for prey. And just like the Goliath spider, the pink bird eater has a confusing name. It doesn't really eat that many birds. Most
Why is
of
it
its
called
diet
that then?
consists of insects, frogs, lizards, and mice. Number 4. Biggest funnel web spider. The biggest funnel web spider in the world has been found in Australia. This happened in 2020, and according to a report from ABC News, the ridiculously massive funnel web spider was actually handed in to the Australian reptile park near Sydney, where keepers promptly named him Dwayne
Horrible.
Rock Johnson. I'm not sure what the name is all about, as they don't even look anything alike. But in any case, this huge spider was found after the reptile park actually called on people to go out and catch as many funnel web spiders as they could and donate them so that the park could milk the spiders for their venom to create very important anti-venom. The director of the Australian Reptile Park has said that the capture of the giant funnel web spider is amazing because the one spider is so big it will produce enough venom to save multiple lives. According to the park, the venom collected from these spiders saves around 300 lives each year. Number 3, the giant spider that was really a crab. The biggest spider to have ever existed on our planet has been denounced as a fraud. You might remember the fossil of a creature unearthed in Argentina quite a few years ago that was quickly labelled the biggest spider in existence. It even appeared in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's largest spider, with a plaster cast of the animal being exhibited in museums all over the world. It was actually a fact for over 20 years that the Magarachne cervini was the biggest spider before it went extinct. But just recently, an expert in arachnids from the University of Manchester has brought forth evidence claiming that this creature was never a spider at all. The expert is claiming the spider to actually be a sea scorpion. And he might be right. Further research has shown that the giant spider actually had large claws and only 2 eyes, which is not very much like a spider at all. It also apparently had a huge body with a shell, and I don't know any spiders that live in shells. According to this scientist, the famous spider is actually more like a crab than an arachnid. Had this monstrosity actually been a spider, it would have been around 3 feet in length. Number 2, largest spider fossil ever. The largest spider fossil ever has just been found recently in China. This is not the biggest spider that has ever existed, but it is the biggest complete fossil ever discovered in history. It's being called Nephila jurassica, and it measures about 2 inches from end to end. That's obviously not huge, but it's pretty significant for a fossil. It dates back all the way to the middle of the Jurassic period, about 165 million years ago. And even more interesting is that this spider is from the same family that still exists today. It's basically the fossil of an ancient orb weaver spider. Today's orb weaver spiders can grow to be at least 5 inches.
Look how weird that looked.
I know, yeah, it's very odd.
Some of them got like faces on them, haven't they?
Yeah.
Weird.
That's what I mean. And then through the microscope, they're going to look even worse, mate. Honestly, it's going to be absolutely hideous. Nightmares.
And are notorious for spinning huge silk webs that can trap bats and birds. There is still relatively little known about this prehistoric spider, but the fact that we could find a spider fossil this old in itself is pretty incredible. The next time you see a spider in your house, remember, it's actually a dinosaur. Number 1. Redback spider on the toilet. The last story takes us back to the toilet. It's a pretty tragic story about a young Australian tradesman and his precious parts. The first incident occurred when a man who preferred not to be named was bitten on his ding-dong by a redback spider while sitting on a porta potty on a job site. As you can imagine, being bitten by any spider on the tip of your little gentleman would be extraordinarily unpleasant. But being bit by a redback spider, which is essentially the Australian version of the black widow spider, is straight up terrifying. The man was rushed to the hospital and everything turned out to be okay in the end. But here's where things get funny. 5 months after this man was bitten rather rudely by the spider, he was using another portable toilet at a building site when the exact same thing happened to him again in the exact same spot. And if you don't believe me, this is a real story that was even reported by the BBC because it's just so ridiculous. According to the man himself, he looked down and saw the enormous spider with its disgusting black legs moving around the rim of the toilet after it had chomped down pretty much in the exact same spot as last time. Everything turned out to be okay again, but the sheer bad luck of being this guy is a little hard to handle. It seems impossible, but it really did happen. I can safely say I will never use a porta potty in Australia ever. How do you feel?
I think that's the guy's fault. Right, for number 1, not checking.
Exactly, yeah.
I think if you're living in Australia, and I think you've got to check.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
And I think sitting
There's
down...
got to be a routine.
Yeah, and sitting down on one of them toilets, because I bet it was absolutely hideous.
I don't think...
It's his own fault as well, he should have just saved it.
To be fair, yeah, the spider bite is probably the best bit. Right?
Yeah.
Imagine there's all kinds of shit you're going to get off there.
Oh, I mean, it's on a builder's yard, isn't it? So, you can just imagine the state of it inside. Honestly, absolutely hideous.
Unless you're the first one on there as it's delivered.
Hey, well, I suppose so, yeah, maybe. But, it's
his own fault, that. But there's some, there was some horrible looking ones there, isn't there?
Yeah, those bird-eating ones are absolutely enormous.
Yeah, big,
11, 12 inches. Gee, I mean, it's just no need, is there?
If you see a 12-inch spider, you're panicking a little bit.
It's bad enough when you see, like, like tarantulas, which are sort of like your hand size sort of thing, but something twice as big as that. Not for me.
Be reason for concern.
Absolutely terrifying, mate.
Even I'd probably be like, whoa.
Yeah, a bit too much. That, yeah, I'm not going to pick that one up and throw it outside.
Gainer.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.